Trips Awakening, Yah will fill my ancient signals, one within the universe and universes inside of me. Certain companies are getting shut down. At least that's what the negative shadows are putting out there. You know, certain companies like Toys R Us, and one of my loved ones was telling me that they're shutting them all down in their state, their planet. You know, so do y'all remember when I was telling y'all about how the corporations do rituals and they use the material things to, you know, put y'all under a spell and certain negative energy latch on? All right, so certain corporations or companies, you know, shutting down because they're not bringing in anything. And what I mean by that, I'm not talking about the money. The negative forces tell you it's about, you know, they raising the rent up. Or, I mean, you'll hear that, oh, well, they raising their rent up. And the negative forces, how are, see, this is what's, you know, comedy to me. They own the buildings and stuff that, you know, the physical bodies created, you know, for the illusion. And then they created this illusion money. But they put out there that, hey, they're shutting down because, you know, they raised the rent up. There are certain merchandises they're not selling. You know, so that's where they get y'all at, the negative forces. And they created this illusion money. They own, you know, lands and properties in this illusion. And y'all build the buildings and stuff like that. All right. So it's funny they say, oh, this company went out of business. And like his other business that's going out, like I think Sears and some more, you know, little companies and stuff went out of business, like Kmart and stuff like that, shutting down. And they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. See, certain merchandises, they're not bringing in souls and energy, like material things. Certain toys can latch on, that the negative energy can latch on to you and your loved ones, because the corporations, they do witchcraft, they do rituals and sacrifices, and so that negative energy attached to you and your loved ones, and you know, it's already bad enough, all the, you know, negative stuff that you got inside the illusion skull, which that could be, like I said before, they could be a house or a church or the courtroom. You know, any building to me is like being inside of an illusion skull. You know, so, you know, the cube box, you know, back in the day would control, and it's still doing it now. You know, all of you around a bunch of wires with all types of energy around you, negative, positive, you know. So they're not bringing in, you know, souls and energy, certain merchandises. See, when I put out things, I experience certain things. You know, like I said, I seen some stuff that will like blow your mind. You know, like I've been seeing a lot of things and experienced certain things, and like I said, I've been ahead. You know, like when you get on that high frequency, you can do the same. So I don't know if y'all remember when I was telling y'all about, you know, the experience that I had with certain toys. Okay, one of my relatives, they told me to go to the car and get something out of the glove the glove box, glove department, or whatever you want to call it. And so I go out there, and I was frustrated because I didn't want to go out there. And when I went out there, you know, one of my siblings, she had a doll. It was a Barbie doll. And so, I picked the doll up, and I was going to do something with it. I was going to, like, when you're young, you do little things to, your siblings' stuff or whatever. So I was going to, like, do something, and next thing I know, the doll's head started spinning around. Like, it started spinning around, like, real fast. And, it was plastic. It was plastic. So, like, I looked at it and screamed and threw it in the woods. Okay? And certain things latch on. Like, you can raise your loved ones, you can raise certain individuals, and then some of y'all like, why are they acting like that? Because certain negative energy, latch on. Just like, like I said, we're wearing spirits. Clothes, it could be anything. It could be something like, antique. Oh, especially antique stuff. They got a lot of, like, it could be like negative or positive energy. So these merchandises, they're not, bringing in souls. So they'll tell you, hey, we got to shut it down. And some of them switch up names and create something else with y'all's DNA. And what I see, like I said, the toys, they're not, bringing in souls. So that's when they had to step it up, with the games and stuff like that. The games, they control even adults' frequency. You see grown-ass people playing with, beings playing with, certain games, And I'm not judging, but, some, like, are addicted. It's okay to play, I guess a couple of games. I don't have nothing against that at all. But some of them are out of control with it and addicted to it. And, I'm not going to get into all that. I could, but I'm not going to go there. But I would say this, like the games control, some of y'all's frequency. Okay? And they're going to come up with, hologram toys. And I'm telling you, they're going to be able to feel because y'all getting controlled by holograms. And holograms, it could be through the cube box. You might actually bump into a hologram and y'all might think it's real. And it's not, and this individual is not real. So they're going to come up with holograms, and the holograms, are going to latch on and take control of certain things. That's the reason why you got to get balance, and defeat the negative energy. You got to be balanced, because it's going to latch on and twist your younglings or some of y'all's, twist y'all's soul and your energy, spin y'all around. So the hologram toys are coming next, because the toys, they're not bringing in soul. They're not bringing in nothing. So they're shutting certain things down, and it's going to switch up the name, and they got to do like rituals and stuff like that. They got to do rituals and stuff. And like certain things, like material things, it could be anything, got energy to it. Like I said, it could be negative or positive. So, I just had to share that with y'all. That's what's going on. And then on this world, everything is coming out. Everything is coming out. So they want you to basically be trapped inside your house. Because, like I said, certain rays are coming through and they're getting defeated, and Their little satellites and all of that stuff is cracking. It's getting destroyed. You know, they're basically getting their ass kicked, getting their ass handed to them. But they still got some of you earthlings under a spell. So they don't want you to be outside to connect with certain things. You know, like I said, back in the day, you know, back in the 80s and 90s, you used to see people like having block parties and being outside having fun and stuff. Now, you know, playing street ball, basketball, and having fun like football and running around, hide and go seek, all of that stuff. Now, you know, they got y'all merged with the computer. You know, you can play video games with the computer. You know, you can play the video games with the computer and do a lot of stuff. You know, they even have sex dolls, and sex dolls got negative energy. You know, they got it for male and female. You know, they latching onto your subconscious because certain rays and certain energy, they're strong and they can't defeat them. And the negative forces, they want to get control. They want to get in control. Certain, like I said, certain bloodlines are at war with each other, and I talked about that. And you know, y'all have, like I said, y'all got crystals and gold and stuff inside of you, and that's the reason why they using the negative forces, using the RF to go destroy like certain planets, certain planets. And they're destroying them. And certain beings that's not human beings, you know, because you got some, you know, their planets got destroyed, and some are still out there surviving. And you know, they call it the FEMA camp or whatever. That's a bunch of mess. That's just to scare y'all. But they are snatching certain beings up and use their DNA to stay ahead. And certain individuals are still, like, you know, like certain, like, for example, like Louisiana and stuff like that. You got certain beings still surviving, but they're running around. They running away from certain beings that's not human. It's just almost like, it's basically like The Walking Dead. You know how like the zombies, you know, they try to stay away from the zombies and stuff like that. You got certain individuals like, hey, I'm not fooling with the system, and they're still, the town might be messed up, and they got, you know, they still got canned foods and all of that stuff. Got certain dates on it and stuff like that. Some of them surviving, but you got negative beings going out looking for them and trying to get them like under the ground, snatch them up and use their DNA. Because some of them probably seen certain things, what was going on in the camps, the so-called FEMA camps, and got away. And it was like, we're not, nah. You know, they see what's going on. They're on a high frequency. You know, there's a reason why they go through like the countries, like, you know, it's not even just over here. It's all over the world. You know, you hear about them bombing certain things and stuff like that. It's not just over here. They tell y'all that, but they do certain things to take the DNA to latch on. You know, so certain places y'all think that's gone, you still, like, some earthlings are hiding and living there. You know, so you have to turn your frequency up. There's a lot of stuff that's going on. That's the reason why the negative forces create these distractions that some of y'all go for. And I tell y'all not to go for it. Whatever you see on the cue box is nothing but a lie. All of it is scripted, because if you pay attention and watch when they talk, they be basically saying the same thing. You know, it's like, you know, you see them, their lips and stuff like moving, like they're reading each other's lines, and they communicating with the signs and symbols, you know, with their hands and stuff like that. If you really actually pay attention, and that can be either in movies, It can be like one of these scripted shows, these, you know, or the set up stage police mess. If you actually really, like, it could be an old school movies. They was giving up symbols and stuff with their hands and stuff. It doesn't matter. You know, you gotta, like I said, that's the reason why I put out there, you know, pay attention to the numbers and colors and stuff. So, you know, y'all can be on that high frequency and stay ahead. You know, so there's a lot of, like, you know, like with the, like I said, I definitely got to do a video on the subway, because the subway, they're doing certain things with the subway and trains and stuff like that, and planes. You know, but I had to put this out there. Certain things that y'all think like, oh, they're going out of business. They're not going out of business. They're not bringing in souls and certain energies, and they have to pay for it. Some whoever is running the building, they get sacrificed or whatever, and then they just change up the name and switch it up. And I'm telling you, the hologram toys, they are coming. They're coming, and they're gonna latch on. You know, and like they'll be able to feel and see how, you know, if you're on a high frequency, you know, like your best bet is not to, like, you know, I can't tell y'all what to do, because some of y'all gonna, you know, get it for your younglings, but the hologram toys are, they're gonna basically take it to another level. You know, get inside of your vision, confuse y'all. You know, like I said, the Wi-Fi is connected with a lot of stuff, and the Wi-Fi is not really good for us at all. That's not good. So I had to put this out there. You know, like the buildings that y'all hear that's shutting down, or in other planets that y'all call countries or certain states. You know, they said, oh, this and that happened, because like I said, the negative forces, they're all connected in these different planets. You know, y'all hear certain things behind the scenes. They're after souls and energy. It's not, you know, when you hear certain places get destroyed and the weather messed up this, or you hear over countries they bombing each other and stuff like that. When you hear stuff like that, you know, they tell y'all that, but they're doing certain things for reasons. That's the reason why I said they send in, you know, they lie to the troops and tell them, oh, well, this and that's going on, and we're going to send you out on a mission. And some of them, some of these soldiers have probably seen some stuff that they're not used to seeing, and it messed them up on so many different levels. You know, they, like I said, they got y'all on a certain dial, you know, certain signals that's, you know, they sending certain signals through your brainwave, have y'all seeing one thing, but it's something totally different. Like I said, your subconscious and parallel universes emerge together. You know, they send these troops off, and that's the reason why they like, hey, we can sacrifice them. Or we can put some kind of drug to make their memory and make them be on some other stuff, and they come back and they be, you know, on some other stuff. I haven't seen this stuff. You know, a couple of my relatives was in the military and stuff, and I could really get deep into that. I mean, you know, I heard basically the stories, but I seen how their behavior was, how they acted and stuff like that. They wasn't the same. You know, they was on something totally different. I could feel it, since like their minds, some of their memories and stuff got wiped out. You know, they send them on missions, and then, you know, they're just like, they send y'all to the hospital when they experiment on y'all. They send the soldiers to the other planets and stuff and have them, they experimenting on them too. You know, and they do them wrong. I don't care nothing about them. It's all about souls and DNA and surviving and latching on to other worlds, building other worlds on a low frequency, a low vibration, building other worlds with y'all's DNA. So when certain things come out or you hear certain things, you know, you got to be balanced. You know, the holograms, toys, and all of that stuff, I'm telling y'all, that stuff is coming. Y'all think these sex dolls, or you think that's something. That's nothing compared to the hologram toys. Like I said, they got hologram beings out here. And you probably, if you're on a high frequency, you can see it on this cube box that some of them are holograms. And you probably bumped into holograms or you felt them. You know, when you feel your heart beating fast and stuff, you can sense certain things. You can feel certain things. Your energy can get drained off of certain things when you come across certain holograms or negative energy and stuff like that. You know, so y'all stay balanced. What? Did somebody say something?